They told us to dream. That if we went to school, played by the rules, smiled in interviews, clicked submit on 500 job applications, we'd get there. But here we are. Degree in hand, debt on our backs, drowning in rejection emails that all start with unfortunately. Gen Z, the most connected generation in history, and yet we feel so alone. We watched the world burn from our childhood bedrooms. Financial collapse. Climate crisis. Pandemics. Mass shootings. And somehow, we were still expected to stay optimistic. To stay productive. But how do you plan for a future? When the present feels like a never-ending emergency? It starts out innocent. You fix your resume. You write a heartfelt cover letter. You tell them why you're a perfect fit. Then nothing. No reply. No call. Not even a rejection. You start wondering, was it me? Was I not enough? Gen Z didn't enter a healthy job market. We walked into a minefield. Entry-level jobs requiring 3 to 5 years of experience. Internships that pay in exposure. Companies cutting costs but expecting you to do 3 roles for 1 paycheck. And when we ask for fair pay, we're called entitled. When we want work-life balance, we're called lazy. But they don't see the messages we get at 2 a.m. from bosses. They don't see us skipping meals to make rent. Or applying to jobs while working 2 already. We're not lazy. We're exhausted. You don't see it on Instagram. But behind every perfectly lit photo, there's a kid crying on the bathroom floor. Gen Z has the highest rates of anxiety, depression, and burnout ever recorded. We self-diagnose because therapy is a luxury. We scroll because the real world feels too loud. How do you heal in a world that keeps breaking? We carry trauma like second skin, from our parents, from our culture, from a system that treats us like data points. We joke about it online, mental breakdown at 3 p.m. But it's not really funny. It's a cry for help disguised as a meme. And still, we get up. We show up. We try again. We didn't start the fire. But we're the ones expected to put it out. Rising seas. Melting ice. Billionaires flying to space while cities flood. Politicians argue while forests burn. Thoughts and prayers every time someone dies in a school shooting. We grew up knowing that safety isn't guaranteed. That leaders don't always lead. That truth is negotiable. And yet, when we protest, when we speak out, they call us too sensitive, too dramatic, too woke. But it's not sensitivity. It's survival. We're not just angry. We're heartbroken. And yet, we are still here. Still showing up for each other. Still building communities. Still organizing, sharing, creating, healing. We are the generation that grew up with chaos. But we're learning how to build peace in the middle of it. We're not just surviving anymore. We're imagining new ways to live. Supporting small businesses. Demanding mental health care. Unlearning generational trauma. This is for the Gen Z kid who just got ghosted by their 87th job application. For the ones who are tired, and still trying. For the barista with a degree. The artist with no gallery. The coder stuck in retail. You are not a failure. The system failed you. And still, you dream. That matters. One day, the world will catch up to the heart you carry. One day, you'll look back and see how far you came. I wanted to be a writer. But writers need time. Writers need space. I got bills. I got shifts. So I fold clothes under fluorescent lights, dreaming in between hangers. My friend wanted to be a therapist. She became one, for free, to everyone around her. Now she's burned out at 26. Still can't afford her own Another friend, brilliant, talented, full of light, he took his own life last year. Because he couldn't see a way forward. These are not rare stories. They're everywhere, tucked behind Instagram filters and fake smiles. We've been taught to grind until we collapse. To sacrifice everything for stability that never comes. So we keep putting our dreams on shelves. Hoping we'll return to them when it's safe to breathe. They told us, work hard, and you'll succeed. But here's the truth. Hard work doesn't guarantee success. It guarantees burnout. We watched our parents work themselves into the ground. Just to get laid off before retirement. We watched billionaires triple their wealth during a pandemic. While nurses wore trash bags. We followed the rules, did the internships, networked, performed, smiled. But doors didn't open. They were never meant to. Because the game was rigged from the start. Meritocracy is a myth sold to keep us compliant. But we're not buying it anymore. We know what's real now. Community. Care. Collective power. That's where the future lives. Rent is $1,800 for a shoebox with peeling paint and no laundry. A bag of rice is now $8. Eggs. Luxury item. Meanwhile, job listings still offer $16 an hour and call it competitive. Competitive with what, exactly? Starvation. So we side hustle. We DoorDash. We edit videos, stream games, start Etsy shops. We find a way. But we're not thriving. We're surviving. And everyone keeps asking us why we aren't buying houses, getting married, having kids. We can't even afford dental care. We are not lazy. We're overworked, underpaid, and barely hanging on. But we laugh about it. Because if we don't laugh, we'll fall apart. And honestly, some days, we do both. But here's the part they don't talk about enough. We're changing everything. Not with parades or press conferences. But in the small, powerful choices we make. We're quitting toxic jobs without shame. We're creating co-ops. We're normalizing rest. We're going to therapy. We're unfollowing influencers who profit off our insecurities. Let that sink in. Really think about that. Gen Z is also navigating identity in a more intense way than previous generations. There's more freedom, which is good, but also more pressure to define, declare, and defend who you are all the time. Gender, sexuality, race, politics, values, everything is public, everything is performative, and everything feels personal. Many Gen Zers feel like they can't make a mistake without being cancelled, or that their worth is measured by how correct or aware they are at all times. This contributes to a fear of authenticity, and ironically, a loss of self. But don't just take it from the data. Let's listen to Gen Z themselves. In interviews, online posts, and research studies, Gen Zers often say things like, "I feel like I was set up to fail. I want to care, but I'm tired of." We're expected to fix the world while still figuring out who we are.